Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Primetime News with Jordan Abbey tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Today, Springdale Police Department arrests 2 men in connection with the disappearance of a man in Berry County.
Off the month of November, as a matter of fact, why don't we go ahead and challenge some December records already? The latest from the Skywatch Weather Center.
Also, football helps fill a void in the lives of some kids in Atlanta. Thanks to the city's police department. It's all thanks to a local fellowship and the police. All that and more coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. 2 suspects are arrested in connection with the disappearance of a man from a Springdale apartment, according to officials with the Springdale Police Department. The search had continued for 39-year-old Richard Phillips. Phillips was last seen at the Peaks Apartments on Cooper Drive November 23rd. Investigation into his disappearance started after a witness told police Phillips was abducted from the apartment by a group of men. Officers spotted a trail of blood in the parking lot. On Saturday, just before 12 p.m., a group of hunters discovered a body, later identified as Phillips, just north of Seligman, Missouri in Berry County. Law enforcement determined that he died in Springdale. His body is being sent to the Arkansas State Crime Lab to determine his cause of death. Springdale police officers say following an extensive investigation, Reginald Baker of Seligman, Missouri and Daniel Blanks of Fort Smith, Arkansas were named suspects in the case. Investigators learned the pair were staying in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and requested authorities in the area help bring the men into custody. Both men were arrested by the Tulsa Police Department without incident and will be transported back to Washington County. Authorities file a sex crime charge against a former substitute teacher for the Frontenac and Girard, Kansas school districts. Suspect is 39-year-old Ross McCullough of Frontenac. Prosecutors say he asked an underage Frontenac student to engage in sexually explicit conduct by mobile phone. They've charged him with attempted sexual exploitation of a child. A man declared wrongfully convicted in 3 murders heads to a new life with lots of goodwill through donated funds. More than $1.4 million has been raised as of Saturday. A GoFundMe project was started for 62-year-old Kevin Strickland of Kansas City, Missouri. Missouri Court of Appeals judge ordered Strickland released from prison last Tuesday for a wrongful 1979 conviction in 3 killings in Kansas City. The judge ruled evidence has since been recanted or disproved. Strickland has always maintained his innocent. The GoFundMe project will help Strickland's living expenses. Well, so many of us have begun the daunting task of buying Christmas gifts for family and friends, and for some of us, it's an easy task to do, and others not so much. Thankfully, on Sunday, the Ambassadors Church in Pittsburgh got together to help with the not-so-easy part, wrapping. The group held a wrap party yesterday afternoon to help folks take care of the wrapping part of the gift-buying process.
This is something we haven't done before, so as a young adults group, we always like to get together and do fun things and get together and just have fun. And so this is another way, like for the holidays, I thought we could come together and do an outreach as well and have fun and get in the Christmas spirit.
Officials are hopeful the party brought a smile to those in need of some wrapping assistance. Well, if you've driven around Pittsburgh after dark lately, you've probably noticed that something's off with the streetlights. Well, they're purple or blue. The color isn't important. They're not supposed to be that way. An Evergy spokesperson tells us it's a manufacturing defect, and it's not just affecting Pittsburgh. Other Kansas towns like Manhattan and Lawrence are dealing with it too. The manufacturer is sending Evergy new lights, and Evergy is working on replacing them. Though bigger towns with bigger problems like Wichita are getting the fixed lights before towns like Pittsburgh. Interesting. This is Fox 14's 18th annual Feed the 4 States food drive, and we're collecting non-perishable items at Wesco Home Furnishing stores in Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma. Also Felon Dermatology and Tropical Tan in Joplin. Donations will help stock the shelves of area food pantries like Crosslines and Wesley House during the season of high demand. You can also give online at KOAMnewsnow.com/feed. The food drive will continue until December 31st. Monetary donations can be stretched to provide 4 meals per dollar. So please give what you can, and we thank you. While the U.S. was celebrating Thanksgiving on Thursday, Egypt was celebrating the reopening of the ancient Avenue of Sphinxes in Luxor. The roughly 1.5-mile road, known as the Road of the Rams, connects two temple complexes, the Temple of Luxor and the Temple of Karnak. The Avenue of Sphinxes is more than 3,000 years old, but was first discovered in the late 1940s. It was expanded across different Egyptian dynasties over hundreds of years, with annexes including baths and wash basins, a pottery making area, and more. Before reopening, it had undergone decades of excavation and restoration efforts, and now features hundreds of traditional sphinxes and ram-headed statues lined up on its path. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi attended Thursday's event.
I'm glad that that's back. Well, like you and I were talking about, you and I got stuff to do tonight, and that right there is an indicator that we're starting to get back out into the open, starting to get crowds together.
Parade season.
So, why don't you give everybody the lowdown about tonight?
Yes, tonight in Pittsburgh. Be downtown around 6 o'clock because that's when the parade's going to start its movement. I think we start around 12th and Broadway usually by the middle school.
That'll work.
And then, yeah, in that vicinity, and head all the way to like 2nd Street or something.
Yeah, so
anywhere along the main drag where we always are every year. We're going to be on the KOAM float.
Going to have plenty of bands out there, the floats, the whole nine. And like I said, it will be a different taste than last year as back out and about. So it feels like we're moving in the right direction, right? Small baby steps.
We'll take them.
That's all we need. Live look outside of Television City. What a gorgeous start that we have. Now these temperatures, yeah, those are a little bit cool, but I tell you what, pretty seasonable for the time being, and it's going to be unseasonably warm to wrap up November and get ready for December. There's our wind tracker. We'll see that increase here to about 15 miles per hour for the afternoon and evening. Clean Skywatch storm tracker. Remember the blue, that's just coming off the sweeping radar. We removed that. We are good to go. Still get a sliver of the moon even at this hour. It's absolutely gorgeous as a whole bunch of high pressure is hanging over west of the Mississippi, bringing us nothing but blue sky and warm temps. As a matter of fact, we'll be up into the mid-60s later on today, and we'll continue to roll that for the end of the month and then get ready for December. As a matter of fact, December the 2nd being Thursday, we've got a chance to challenge a record high. If we throw up a 71, 72 at one of our airports, we're going to be right there as far as our records go. Now, the next shot for rain, that's really not until Saturday and Sunday. And even with that being said, sometimes that precipitation, that front that rolls through will bring us cooler temperatures. That will not be the case in this aspect, as we'll be able to hang in the 60s. And Tanya, look at these overnight lows. Average overnight low for this time of year should be right at the freezing mark. Pooh, we'll blister past that.
Yeah. That's going to be nice. I'm hoping we actually hit 70 on more than just one day this
I'm
week.
confused because Carrie was nice enough to bring this one over here, and now I got to jump over here.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm doing my best. You know what Coach Cook would have said? Remember, he's got family in Chanute. I got to be careful when I do this. Slip. You got to get your rear end down, get your head on a swivel.
Get your head on the swivel.
You got a camera here. You got a camera here. All right? You get your arms out. You read that pass lane, hey slip. I love you, Coach Cook. I love you too, Carrie.
That was good. That was really good. All right, thanks, Michael. Up next, many countries impose a fresh round of travel bans as the latest COVID variant begins to spread in South Africa. And later, a Phoenix, Arizona community comes together when a 4-year-old loses his teddy bear. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Are you ready to?
Well, the new COVID variant sweeping South Africa and other countries is threatening to hamper COVID recovery here in the U.S. CBS News' Laura Podesta tells us how the CDC and the Biden administration is preparing for its arrival on our shores.
President Biden is expected to address the American public today on the new COVID variant Omicron. The administration plans to ban travel from South Africa and 7 other countries in the region. Returning from Thanksgiving in Nantucket, President Biden was asked if travel bans on any other countries might follow.
I'm having a meeting with my medical team as I get back to the White House. I'll have more to say.
The World Health Organization says travel restrictions may not be necessary until Omicron is better understood.
It's going to give us a period of time to enhance our preparedness.
Dr. Fauci and former FDA Commissioner Dr. Scott Gottlieb said a few more weeks are needed to see how the variant stands up to existing vaccines.
People who have looked closely at this sequence, those individuals feel reasonably confident that 3 doses of vaccine is going to be protective. Now, that could give a really strong impetus to trying to get more people boosted.
One of the first doctors to spot Omicron in South Africa says so far its effects seem relatively subdued.
Looking at the mildness of the symptoms that we are seeing, currently there's no reason for panicking, as we don't see severely ill patients.
Another big question, whether Omicron is more contagious than the now predominant Delta variant.
We do think it's more contagious when you look at how rapidly it's spread through multiple districts in South Africa.
The CDC says it's monitoring Omicron and expects to identify it quickly, if and when it arrives in the U.S. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Japan said it would bar entry to foreigners as the country seeks to respond to the spread of the new Omicron variant of the coronavirus. Well, Pinball Wizards Welcome, a quirky museum in Moscow, is home to over 40 of the bleeping retro arcade machines. Okay, and visitors are encouraged to give the flashing machines a spin too. It's one of the most unusual museums in Moscow. The Russian capital's Pinball Museum is based on the private collection of owner Alexander Kazmin. He's been collecting the retro arcade machines from all over Russia since 2015. The museum has been open since 2018 and now counts over 40 flashing machines in its retro collection. The collection also includes more than 50 exhibits related to the invention and development of slot machines from the end of the 19th century to the 2000s. The first pinball game was patented by inventor Montague Redgrave in 1871.
Shout out to our wonderful producers and that awesome CG right there. Sure plays a mean pinball. Not lost on me. You guys are awesome. Do you know that we have a pinball geek in our midst? Did you know that?
Kale?
Yeah, a little bit. Anyway, one of our wonderful engineers, Cale Garner, and I don't think he wouldn't be offended. Doesn't matter, I already said it. He's a pinball geek to the point where, and he's so ingenious that he puts pinball machines back together, folks. And it gives you an indication that if you can put one of those things back together, because I've seen the innards of them, if you can put those things back together, no wonder you can make a TV station work. And if it weren't for our great engineers like Cale, Brett, and Bill, honestly, I don't know if the lights would be on.
Sometimes they're not, so we're glad to have them. They fix it when they go out, so hey, seriously, we need them.
Try to get on their good sides.
No, they fix it when they go out, so
they do.
They keep the lights on, literally.
No, they do. They actually do keep the lights on. Tanya, our average high this time of year would be 53 degrees. We're going to be well above that. As a matter of fact, 53 degrees is going to be close to our average low to wrap up November and begin December. Sitting at 39 degrees right now over 7th and Rangeline, just a gorgeous sight. And there we are with the glow cloud creeping over the horizon outside of Television City. Temperatures ranging anywhere from still below the freezing point in Jay to right at it in Miami and Grove. And then we get a little bit warmer as you go north. Sounds counterintuitive, but Lamar and Chanute are both at 40 degrees. We have a wind chill in effect, so it's going to feel like the high 90s, but that's perfectly, or high 20s, but that's perfectly normal for this time of year when you step outside. Skywatch Storm Tracker is clean and clear, and here's why. The big ridge of the jet stream that's now over the Rockies, and remember when we talk about the ridge, that's kind of the hump that we see as compared to the trough. That's the trough where it bottoms out. The hump that we see, that's called the ridge. And what that supplies us is a whole bunch of high pressure, and that's going to be indicative of sunny skies and a nice warm up. As a matter of fact, we'll be up into the mid-60s later on this afternoon, to the point where our 7-day forecast is going to feed us temperatures a good 8 to 10 degrees above normal. Do not have to worry about anything coming close to overnight lows that are down, even inching to 32. Look at that Thursday number. That's the second day of December. we throw up a 71 or a 72 at one of our airports, and we're going to break a December 2nd record. We'll be back with more KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this.
Hobbies.
Certainly not uncommon to see a group of kids playing football, but for participants in one program, the game is helping fill a void in their lives. It's all thanks to a local fellowship and the city's police department. Nadia Romero with the story.
First up, let's go.
Over 120 kids participating in Prison Fellowship's Angel Tree program in Atlanta. A day of football and fun for kids with at least one parent incarcerated. And Atlanta's police department stepping up, coaching and motivating on the field.
Good job.
The day was the launch of Opportunity Kids, an initiative to change mindsets and the label at-risk youth to Opportunity Kids.
We want these kids to grow into the God-given potential that all of them have.
Get back. Good job, man.
And 13 Atlanta Police Department off-duty officers were right there leading the day's event.
On a Sunday morning, they're here because they want to be here. They're here because they love kids, they love youth engagement, they love youth interaction.
When you drop that ball, it's okay. Next play. Catch it next time.
My overall statement to the youth is, we're here for you because we are.
Javetta Lindsay was there with Desire and Mario, her niece and nephew, whose father has been incarcerated for 13 years. She's now their caretaker.
It was just important for me to show them support. They can actually see that I'm actually watching, taking videos.
Hard work on three, hard work on three. 1, 2, 3. Hard. Yes, sir.
Ashley Schiffer went with her 10-year-old son, Jace.
Jace is so excited. He definitely was like up and ready to go this morning.
They moved from Illinois to Atlanta about 2 years ago.
Jace's dad has been incarcerated since he was 1 year old, so we've always kind of been a tight-knit family, and it's really important for me to be there for Jace since one of his parents is absent.
Everybody ready? Yes, sir. Everybody ready? Go.
The one with the dreads, I think he pretty cool.
Yes, sir, I like it. Trip back. There you go.
I feel incredible. I'm like, wow. They really took their time out to come to help us today.
Come on. Right here.
Do not fear the police. We are not to be feared. We're here for the community, and we're here for you. We actually care.
And honestly, I had a great time.
Give it up for the coaches.
We'll be back with this morning's four-state hero right after this.
Time to honor today's four-state hero. Jonathan Vail, a member of the Air Force. Vail served in Operation Enduring Freedom and Iraqi Freedom with the 60th Civil Engineer Squadron. Vail received numerous ribbons and medals, including Outstanding Unit Award with 3 oak leaf clusters. For your bravery and service, we thank you, Jonathan Vail, our four-state hero. When a 4-year-old boy lost his best friend, the entire Phoenix, Arizona community came out to solve the mystery and get his best friend back. Here's the details.
You go.
It is sometimes
And go down.
the smallest thing
I'll go this way.
that mean the world to us. And for 4-year-old Bracken, that special item is his teddy bear named CJ.
CJ is the third child that goes with us everywhere.
CJ has been Brecken's companion since birth. Wherever Brecken is, CJ follows.
Road trips, anywhere, CJ goes.
It's an unbreakable best friend bond. Until this weekend, a dining out trip putting that friendship to the test.
We were on our way to Joe's Farm Grill, and somebody, I'm not going to say names, left him on top of the car, and he may or may not have fell off.
Was that you?
Maybe.
CJ lost. Brecken devastated.
There was a couple kind of sleepless nights.
The family taking to social media, asking everyone to keep an eye out for CJ.
It was so sad.
And the Gilbert community uniting, coming to his rescue.
I was thinking, you know what, like we can find it. We can find it.
Strangers like Carly Cartmel stepping in to help.
I saw the stuffed animal, the bear, in the middle of the road.
But Jason Nove spotting CJ in the middle of the road near Power and Germain roads.
I slammed on the brakes and told my wife to put on the emergency blinkers, and she said, "What are you doing?" And jumped out and got it. And I said, "It's someone's stuffed animal."
Jason taking CJ home, giving it a wash in hopes of finding its owner, oblivious of the community hunt.
I didn't know anybody was searching for it.
But after making his own Facebook post, neighbors connecting the two.
It's not very often my heart melts, but it melted right then as soon as he saw his bear.
A community coming together
It takes no effort to be good.
in the simplest way,
It's his baby.
doing something big
I feel that anybody will do anything for kids, and I think this just proved it.
for someone so small.
Wonderful connection there. Another half hour of news and weather is just ahead. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Alabama school district is in hot water over its inaction over a student's racist comment. And a community struck by tragedy holds a moment of silence for those who lost their lives in a parade turned deadly. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30. Let's take a look at today's top stories. Although Thanksgiving is behind us, one local group still has turkey on the brain. It's the Spring River Boat and Ski Club. They held one of their regular turkey shoots on Sunday. Organizers say it's a great way to connect with fellow club members.
Our annual turkey shoots, we do them every year, have done for probably 55 years. And this is one of our fundraisers we do to promote the club and support the club.
Maybe it is. This is the last of the turkey shoots for this year. While many retailers were celebrating Black Friday with special deals and sales, a number of local businesses celebrated Small Business Saturday. One of the many local shops that took part, Salty Sloth in Webb City. It opened its doors early Saturday morning, where some lucky tea aficionados got a chance to win a free tea for a year. Co-owner Misty Winningham says there's several reasons it's important for communities to support their local businesses.
I think the mom and pop shops, the small businesses, are what make our community up, honestly. I think it brings us all together. They're more prone to give back to the schools and the kids and the families in the area. So I think it's a big role.
In December, Salty Sloth is having a 12 Days of Christmas event where proceeds raised will help their Joplin and Webb City location buy toys for 3 families in each community this Christmas. Well, as we mentioned, several local businesses took part in Small Business Saturday, and that includes those in Pittsburgh, like The Finishing Touch. Santa's been very busy across the 4 states over the past week, making visits at several locations, and he made time to stop by The Finishing Touch. While you were there, you could get your photo taken with Santa and even order some custom prints to send off to Grandma and Grandpa.
It's really important to remember your small businesses when making your purchases, especially this year when shipping might be hard to get things. Remember those people that are local, and they probably have it waiting for you in your shop. It means a lot to shop local. You're supporting those people that own those businesses, and you're supporting the people that they employ as well, which is huge for our community.
Small Business Saturday started about 10 years ago. Well, if you drive in Pittsburgh, you might have noticed something a little off about the streetlights. KOAM's Jake Tackaberry tells us what exactly is going on.
Do these lights look blue or purple to you? Or more importantly, are they supposed to look that way at all? Short answer, no. Now for the longer answer, we talk to this guy.
Andrew Baker, Evergy spokesperson.
First, we learned this isn't just a Pittsburgh problem. It's happened in Topeka, Wichita, Emporia, and Lawrence.
And, this is not intentional. This is not something that's planned.
So what is it?
The lights are turning this color due to a subcomponent within the light fixture that's prematurely failing. It allows too much of that blue-purple light spectrum to shine through, which changes the color of the light.
To put it more succinctly, they're broken. But they're going to be fixed. The manufacturer is sending Evergy not broken lights, and Evergy is replacing the broken ones, the blue ones, with new ones. It won't cost the company anything, so ultimately it won't cost you anything either.
We really appreciate everyone's patience throughout this process. We know it's not ideal, and we're looking to get them changed out as quickly as we can.
Now, while the lights might look cool to some, especially Twitch streamers, others have safety concerns.
At the same time, they are very dim.
But Evergy says that's not the case. Baker says the lights aren't dimmer, just different.
It doesn't shine any less light. It doesn't shine any more.
For what it's worth, Pittsburgh police say they haven't had any issues with safety due to the lights, but they also think they're dimmer. In summation, the lights are broken and they're getting fixed. But before they do, take this opportunity, go grab a great Instagram shot. Ooh, moody. In Pittsburgh, Jake Tackberry, KOAM News.
If you do happen to snap an Instagram photo under the lights, please tag us at KOAM Fox 14. And then send them to Michael on Messenger. On Friday, a special event came back to San Diego. What event might that be? Comic-Con. It's a widely known event for those that love pop culture. Exclusive content such as movie trailers or merchandise can only get seen or obtained there. It's usually held in the summer, but this year it was a little different. The event was also scaled down, and last year it was canceled due to COVID. So much fun.
Now, wait, so I thought, you have to help me out here. I thought there were a bunch of Comic-Cons that, maybe there's like one main one and offshoots.
Sure.
You're not. You're just like, Michael, I'm not going to help you on this.
I don't know the answer to that. I thought there were two.
There was one up in Kansas City not too long ago. That's why I know that.
I think we had one like in Neosho too, or something like that. A small version.
Yeah, and for those of you that...
maybe this is the big one.
For those of you that saw Iron Man up in Kansas City and you're like, gee, I wonder who that is behind that mask. No, I was just busy that weekend. I just wasn't at home. That's all it was. Whatever. Dress as Wonder Woman for Halloween. I'm absolutely fine. Live look outside of Television City. Gotcha. Anywhere from 30 degrees right now in Jay to 40 in both Chanute and Lamar. As far as what it feels like, we're getting there. We still have some high 20s out there, but a very nice Skywatch storm tracker. We're going to get a whole bunch of sunshine today as the jet stream is going to bring us warmer temperatures. And you go, wait a second, isn't it blowing off the, coming off of the border right there? No, because you have to remember all this cold air, it's going to make its way toward the Ohio River Valley and then sweep up through the Northeast. When we see things come off the Pacific and you get that ridge, that hump of the jet stream, that means not only warm temps for us, possibly record warm temps for us. Look at that Thursday. That'll actually be the 2nd of July, and we've got a chance to break a record. Overnight lows well above the freezing point. We'll be back with more KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this.
Every Thanksgiving.
This morning on the KOAM News Now Facebook page in our morning Insta poll talking organ donation. Beverly White needed a double lung transplant, but so did 10,000 other people on the same waiting list. Kim Pound's daughter, Valentina, an organ donor, passed away from an injection that hit an artery, and Beverly ended up with the gift of Valentina's lungs because she was a perfect match. Our question to you this morning, would you donate your organs and support, yes or no? 84% of you say yes, and we appreciate everybody's engagement, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. Remember, 2 ways to connect, via our Facebook page, or if you'd like to go directly to the poll, KOAMnewsnow.com/vote. Meanwhile, parents are outraged over an Alabama school district's inaction after a student is heard chanting, quote, "white power," end quote. This all coming in a Snapchat video. The district says it cannot discipline the student. Magda Louisant has the story.
Jocelyn Logan wants her black son, LJ, one of the few minorities at Coleman High School, to feel safe in the hallways.
I try not to cry because this is so, that's my baby and I need him to be safe.
A Snapchat video of a student saying a racial slur and screaming the words "white power" bothers her family.
I was really heartbroken because when we discussed it with my child, his reaction was, please just don't say anything. It's not going to do any good. It doesn't matter to them.
Coleman City school leaders call the video highly offensive and inappropriate. The district's attorneys tell WVTM 13 a high school student at home with his friends didn't know he was being recorded while he mocked a TikTok video that uses the same language. The district cites a Supreme Court ruling that says because it was recorded off campus, it wasn't aimed at any person, and the school day was not disrupted. The student cannot be punished.
It just creates a culture of fear. If we allow words like this to happen and we don't discipline people for words, then what are we going to do in their physical actions?
Instead, the district says it has 2 mental health specialists talking with students in small groups about conflict, meanness, and bullying. The school system will host multiple small group sessions with students who may have differences too. The goal? Hear what it's like for struggling students in the school system and find positive solutions. Logan's son says he'll participate, but
we need to know who is going to be leading these circles. It is not going to be my child. It should not be another child of color. They need to bring in an outside resource that understands the depth of what is going on and is willing to lead them.
Superintendent says the district plans to update its code of conduct and board policies, but will first listen to students to determine what updates are needed. We'll be back with a little Black Friday shopping update right after this.
The economic recovery from COVID has thrown a wrench into the supply chain, hitting businesses and then shoppers. In spite of it all, retail sales continue to rise. And the National Retail Federation says it's feeling pretty good about the holiday season. Between Thanksgiving Day and Cyber Monday this year, it expected there will be nearly 2 million more shoppers than last year. And each shopper is projected to spend about $1,000 during the holiday season. There are a couple of explanations at play. First, the fear factor. Because of supply chain issues, shoppers are getting the message. If you want it, buy it now. And 46% of shoppers say they plan to shop earlier than normal. Economists say another reason people are spending is because they can.
Consumers are very healthy. They've got $4 trillion in savings on the sidelines. They've paid down debt. We've seen $5 trillion of fiscal stimulus.
National Retail Federation says it could be well into next year before issues with the supply chain are ironed out. This Friday, it wasn't just big box stores benefiting from the post-holiday shopping. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with 2 Joplin businesses about the work they put in to attract customers.
It's one of the busiest shopping days of the year.
I mean, it's called Black Friday for a reason. It's kind of the day that it just brings everything together as far as it kind of tops off the end of the year.
While Black Friday usually has shoppers lining up at larger retailers, local Joplin businesses like Sophie Boutique were almost just as popular.
It's definitely one of our best months of the year. So yeah, I mean, a lot of small businesses of all kinds count on the holiday season to kind of wrap up the year on a high note.
It's a similar story at GameCo, which just moved to a new location. Their owner, J.C. Bird, says they were unsure how turnout would be, but says the amount of people they saw come in shows the importance of supporting small local stores.
We want you to shop local, stay here in town, don't spend your money online, come and see us for anything that we can get for you here local. It's very important for us to, brick and mortar is hard to do.
What really helps out smaller businesses on big shopping days like Black Friday is having loyal customers.
We have a lot of new customers too, but we really try and really nurture those relationships with our customers to where they want to come shop with us, they want to support us, and so that is the most important thing, to be completely honest.
And although small businesses were unsure what another Black Friday would hold,
We didn't really know exactly what it's going to be like. We're kind of, just treading the waters to see if we're coming back to a sense of normalcy.
They say it was great to be back and seeing everyone again.
It's always a great time, and I love just seeing all the customers and the familiar faces and the new faces. Like, it's fun to work this weekend.
In Joplin, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
For anyone still looking to go shopping tomorrow, well, last Saturday was Small Business Saturday. What? You can go shopping all days this week. The stores are open during the week, Monday through Friday for sure. We'll be right back with more after this, but first, let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
About 9 minutes till the top of the hour, and a gorgeous, gorgeous Monday that we're going to be in store for. As a matter of fact, Temperatures that are almost ridiculous for this time of the end of November. There we are with a live look over 7th and Rangeline. Where currently Joplin sits at 37 degrees. We've seen some low 30s, but now we're already bumping up as Miami and Neosho and Anderson have had about a 4 to 5 degree bump from where we were earlier. As far as what we're looking at on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, we are clear and clean as can be. As a matter of fact, we're almost to the point where we're too dry, so we will have elevated fire risks as we move through this week. But at the same point in time, our temperatures looking great for today, tomorrow, and we'll just keep it going. As a matter of fact, how about mid-60s with a whole bunch of sunshine for a Monday and continue to roll the 60s for each and every day as we wrap up November. Now, look at that Thursday. Remember, Wednesday is the first day of December. We're going to be at 61 degrees. Average high, say about 52, 53 degrees. Thursday, we're going to be challenging some records. And those overnight lows well above the freezing point. As a matter of fact, that Thursday into Friday low, that should be our daily high for this time of year. The Waukesha community gathered to remember those that were killed by a crime. Sarah McGrew with the story.
4:39 p.m. A time marked by silence. A time the Waukesha community will never forget.
These families are going through a really hard time. Everybody that was here a week ago through the tragedy just went through such trauma. And to see the community come together tonight was absolutely beautiful.
A vigil at Veterans Park. Bringing back flickering lights of hope to a grieving community.
And everybody comes together. I mean, everybody supports each other. That's the community of Waukesha.
Following the citywide moment of silence, the mayor asked the community to keep their lights shining bright.
Today and through the holidays, we ask you all to show unity and to stand with those injured with a simple act. Unite with a blue light.
Blue light bulbs were given out to the community by city council members and businesses over the weekend.
Showing that Waukesha is strong and saying they want to show love and support for people, and I think that's what the blue light is symbolizing.
Martha Merrill's has already run out, but the city says more are on the way to help illuminate the good in the community.
Hate and evil, but it has arrived and it's shown what it can do, but now it's time for love to show how it can heal and be very present. And that's what I think you're seeing this community do, is showing love.
We'll be back and wrap up this edition of the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. Scientists around the world are working to learn more about the Omicron variant of COVID-19. U.S. today joins several other nations in restricting travel from 8 countries in southern Africa, where the strain was first detected. As Omicron cases spread to other parts of the world, efforts are underway to update existing vaccines if needed. Virgil Abloh, who was the creative force behind the Louis Vuitton menswear collection, has died at the age of 41 after a years-long battle with cancer. In a statement, LVMH chief Bernard Arnault said Abloh was a visionary and a beautiful soul with great wisdom. And Jews around the world welcomed the first night of Hanukkah. In Washington, Vice President Kamala Harris's husband, Douglas Emhoff, took part in a menorah lighting. He spoke about anti-Semitism and said Hanukkah tells the story of commitment to faith. Check in with Michael with a final look at your forecast.
Yeah, Tanya, this is crazy because during the KOM Morning News, you informed me about Stephen Sondheim's death. And then throughout the course of the show, right when it started, that's cool, Dylan. No, I'm cool with that. I found out, I did not know that Virgil Abloh had died. I knew before you just read it right there, but I happened to glance over the TV and realize that he had passed. And granted, I am so envious, not jealous folks, but so envious about people that are so creative and artistic. And I'm not a fashion connoisseur, but even I can look at Virgil Abloh and what he created and just be like, I was just absolutely amazed. Temperatures right now range from mid 30s to low 40s, but no worries. Today we're going to have sunshine up into the mid-60s. And remember, we wrap up November in a fine fashion and even challenge some record highs there on Thursday for the second day of December.
All right, well, Peruvian archaeologists found a mummy in good condition in the archaeological complex of Cajamarquilla. That's located east of Lima. The body reportedly belongs to a man and dates back to pre-Inca times. Archaeologists found the mummy in fetal position and tied with ropes in an oval underground funerary structure. Interesting. Mummy was surrounded by various offering materials such as pots, ceramics, and gourds containing botanical remains. According to local media, archaeologists hope this discovery will help them understand cultural practices and traditions in pre-Inca times in this area even better.
Wow.
That's cool. It makes me wonder, like, why that position.
That's the pre-corporal. Yeah, that's okay. Can we follow up on that, producers? Can we keep an eye on that story, because that's one I think is really, really interesting. All right, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. Sorry to leave you on that note. Back with more news and weather when we see you at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.